Ever wondered what life for film was like back in the 17th century? Imagine back to December 28th, 1895.
The Lumiere brothers were having the first public screening of their recording of workers leaving their factory. People were amazed. It was mind-blowing. The fact that images could move was unseen before. That was far from thought possible back 100 years ago. The brothers had a technique of filming in one spot till the film ran out. Weird, but happened to work, becoming the creators of film.
After their glory of creating films, the Lumiere brothers felt a threat to their glory under the name of Georges Méliès. He saw a lot of potential of this creation. He approached the brothers requesting to pay 10,000 francs for a cinematograph, but was refused. After his denial, he later only spent a bargain of 1,000 francs for an animatograph and reversed the machines, and the camera was born.
Creating his own films, Georges Méliès, in 1986, was in Paris recording a bus when his camera had a problem and jammed. By the time he had fixed it, and it had started again, the bus had been replaced by a hearse. This is when the jump cut was created. First professionally used in the Haunted Castle in 1896, he also created the fade-in, fade-out, overlapping dissolves, and stop-motion photography.
Méliès always had his own touch on each film. He always kept the same camera angle over and over. In his 500 or so films, he never changed his angle once. For example, in A Trip to the Moon, 1902.
Edwin S. Porter started off as a videoscope projectionist. He operated his own equipment until he started working with Edison Manufacturing in 1900 as head of production. Edwin S. Porter put together stage scenes to create a narrative, each shot as a complete scene.
He also created temporal overlaps. The action is duplicated from one shot to another, mostly in opening shots, cutting from one point to another. Porter felt he should only take editing so far.
D.W. Griffith started under the name as Lawrence Griffith. His big break was first when he started out as an actor in Rescue of an Eagle's Nest in 1908. After his big break, Griffith became a part of Biograph Co. in New York City in 1896, when he later created The Adventures of Dolly in 1908. His contract at Biograph Co. was to create 450 films between 1908 and 1911. He established what's now known as the classic continuity editing system. Griffith and contemporary filmmakers came up with the reverse shot, establishing shot, matching eyeliner, and cutting action.
Griffith released the most expensive film to date. It was the first official blockbuster, Birth of the Nation, 1915. This film used every single piece of editing and cinematic techniques. This film was slowly banned and riots broke out in Boston, Atlanta, and Chicago. People thought this film was thought to be extremely racist, including the KKK, an extreme racist group. Griffith didn't think people didn't like racism. He thought it was an attack towards him. This caused him to create a book called The Rise and Fall of Free Speech in America. Later, the film Intolerance in 1916, responding to all critics, was made. This cost him $2.5 million to produce, and he will die paying of this debt. D.W. Griffith is a controversial figure in film history.
Eisenstein was the key to developing the montage theory. He gathered shots from different locations and grouped them together to create an emotional response, such as Battleship Potemkin in 1925.
Lev Kuleshov was a famous Russian director who used editing known as the Kuleshov effect. The Kuleshov effect showed three things: a man looking at a bowl of soup, the man looking at a child in a coffin, and a man looking at a woman. The three groups saw this and thought of different things. The first group thought that he looked hungry. The second group thought that he looked remorseful. And the third group thought that he was looking at the woman lustfully.
Sound was later introduced in the 1930s. Sound is so important in making a scene memorable. Sound can change the dynamic of a scene. For example, in Black Hawk Down, in the helicopter scene, there isn't much to it, but the music draws you in and gives you an emotional attachment. Thanks for watching.
Bye!